This is my understanding of risk-neutral pricing. Risk-neutral pricing, to me, means that you're indifferent on where you invest your money. And so if I were to pit K as a treasury bond, and S has a stock, I'm going to put S at 0 for like the initial time period. I should be indifferent on where I invest my bond. And so if I were to have my bond accumulate at e to the r, where r is the risk-free interest rate, my stock should also increase at that rate, s equals e to the r. And if I were to have $1,000 in K or $1,000 in S, these should be equivalent to each other. And so that is where I get to the point of the first assumption of risk-neutral pricing. And that is assumption 1, that your stocks and other investments get their risk-free rate. Because I'm indifferent whether I put it in a put or a call or a stock, it's all the same. You're neutral, which obviously this is false, and risk-neutral pricing is only used for pricing purposes to prevent arbitrage. And so if I was going to prevent arbitrage in doing options and with combinations of my bonds, then we're going to have to write down some other things. So here is my stock at time 0. My stock at time 1, if I were to do like the binomial pricing, it can go up or it can go down, right? And let's say that there's only 2 outcomes. It could go down X or it could go up Y. And so here we go. Now we need to pit probabilities to each of these. So I'm going to call the probability of going down, I'm going to call that P star. And then if there's only 2 options, if it could go up or down, going up has to be 1 minus P star, like that. And if I was indifferent about whether to put it in a bond or a stock, then this weighted average has to equal putting my stock in the risk-free rate. And that is why S times e to the r has to equal P star times SD, like so, plus 1 minus P star SU, like that. And so these have to be equivalent. It's just like, oh, I'm indifferent of having like this probability of going down and then this probability of going up. Now if I was to solve for P star in this equation, I'll put that over here, that would equal this. The stock price of the up minus the initial price of the stock times e to the r divided by SU minus SD. It's kind of weird to me because this P star is the probability of the stock going down, even though here on the numerator it's just mentioning the stock price going up. But thinking about it first in this perspective, it makes sense that why P star is equivalent to the way it is. To recap, risk-neutral pricing, you're indifferent on where you invest your money, and that's why you get the risk-free rate. And that's because of focusing on that. And there's no arbitrage involved. It's assuming that this is for pricing purposes, so there's no arbitrage, and that's why all of these things unfold.